happening, y'all? I actually wasn't gonna be live for too long. Gotta go handle some shit. But I just wanted to say a couple of things about the whole Drake and Kendrick shit. Like, uh, damn, I should have, whatever, whatever. See, I'm gonna keep this. You feel me? But this Drake and Kendrick thing is the new age version of Jay-Z and Nas, a newer version of Eminem, Ja Rule, uh, 50 Cent, Ja Rule, Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, and Tupac. You feel me? Like, this ain't nothing more than just one of those beats that's gonna go down as a conversation piece. You know what I'm saying? And if you notice in most of these battles, if not all the battles that I just named, we both had, I would say, other than the Biggie and Pac shit, we both had like a clear loser, somebody who clearly lost. Like, everybody agreed that they lost. You know what I'm saying? I think that Nas won that battle because when you go and look back, he was finna hang Jay-Z for the whole world to see. Like, he was finna hang Jay-Z, like, in front of the hell of people. And that was unheard of, you know what I'm saying? You got everybody who unanimously said that 50 Cent won. Even though when people start to look back on it, maybe they feel differently about it. Doesn't matter. Everybody at the time said 50 Cent won. Doesn't matter if you feel like he got jumped or, you know, he had help from Eminem and Drake. It don't fucking matter. When you go to beef with somebody, you can't say what somebody can do to you. I heard I forgot. Was I watching Three Letterman or Angry Fans? I was watching somebody, and I think it was Sears Jones that said this statement. He was like, if you come, and I might be paraphrasing a little bit, if you come and kick my cat, you can't get mad if I come back and kill your dog, right? And no animal cruelty. I don't, that's just a metaphor, you know what I'm saying, YouTube? No animal cruelty, no animals were harmed during this production. So it's like, with you gotta understand too, like, a lot of people, I don't know why a lot of people forget that Drake was dissing Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? No matter who started it first, it doesn't fucking matter. It all to me personally, how I see all this shit start off, it starts off as like a friendly fade, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of throwing jabs back and forth, because you're supposed to keep it competitive. That's how you stay on your toes, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like boxing, you stay on your toes, you know, to be able to make better hits, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta stick and move. So for me, in my personal opinion, that I feel like a lot of people would agree with, even though I might be wrong about that, right? In my personal opinion, I feel like, you know, you gotta realize that history was made with those two, and it was talks about them, you know what I'm saying, beefing with each other for a while. So let's not sit here and act like us talking about it as much as we isn't the effects of people, you know what I'm saying, that's people being amazed by it even happening. Like, I remember at one point in time when the beef was going on, at the height of the beef, which was the height of the beef for me, was like, the height of the beef really was after when Kendrick dropped Euphoria. You know what I'm saying? The height of the beef was when Kendrick dropped Euphoria. Only because I'm not saying that Kendrick was the height of the beef. I'm saying it was because of Drake too, obviously. But I'm saying that the height of it was Push Up's Euphoria. That right there was like everybody. It got everybody's attention, because like that was like the spark. You know what I'm saying? It was like you know how you take a match and you put it to the side. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to spark it up. Push Ups started the fire. You know what I'm saying? Euphoria, he threw that motherfucker in the fireplace and it started up. Taylor Made put some gasoline on that shit, right? Taylor Made helped out too. Taylor Made put some gasoline on that shit. You know what I mean? Taylor Made freestyle, regardless of people think it's disrespectful, regardless of people feel like, oh, you're not supposed to use AI voice. I thought it was, I'm not gonna lie. People try to kick Drake back in, and I got my jokes too. Like that bitch ass lawsuit and all these things that you were influenced by people who were 7 years, 10 years younger than you. You know what I'm saying? 15 years younger than you and shit. You get inspired by those people. I got a lot to say about Drake, but what I will say is that he took a interesting, interesting approach when he did the AI voice shit. You know what I mean? And a lot of people too. What's going on? What's going on? Boom, Arthur Boone. A lot of people too didn't realize that he was kind of ushering in like artificial intelligence being used. You know what I mean? And so that was the scary part about it. But the interesting part about it is that I think that Drake just stopped giving a fuck about opinions when he did the tailor-made freestyle. I think he truly stopped giving a fuck. Now, what I don't like in between is people saying, Hunganington, what's good? What's good, Haga, Arthur, Velvet, what it do? I ain't gonna be here long. I'm gonna be here long enough though. I don't like the fact that people try to tie Kendrick in with like him getting the tailor-made freestyle taken down. I just truly feel like that was Tupac estate. But that, I mean, I don't know. We haven't heard anything different publicly. You know what I'm saying? Guten Tag, what's good, Ghostbot? So I want to say that I don't want to try to. I don't want to try to make it seem like I don't have discrepancies about both of them. The only thing I didn't like about what Kendrick did is that the only thing I didn't like that Kendrick did was, well, I could say I didn't like it, but he did take a little longer than expected. You know what I'm saying? Goes by, yes, I do music. I am an artist, not just a rapper. I do rap, however, but I don't just rap. I'm an artist. It's artistry. I'm an MC, and I'm working on being a stronger MC, and I'm working on representing that too. A lot better. I think he took a little long dropping Euphoria, almost 3 weeks. But that caused anticipation and delayed gratification. Everybody appreciated it. They listened to that shit 12 times. Be like, damn, this shit's 6 minutes long. No wonder why, he took this long or whatever. So that's about the only downside I got to that. Drake started off strong. Honestly. I mean, even Family Matters was a pretty strong track, but it just over time it turned into something else. It turned into something else. It turned into him, because at first he was on the offense. Kendrick had the initiative. Don't get me wrong, because he was the first person to say something. Well, he was the first person publicly to diss not just Drake but J. Cole as well. But boom, 2 in 1, right? 2 birds, 1 stone. And nigga really took out like 12 birds in 1 stone, which whatever. But 2 birds, 1 stone type of deal. And so I think that in itself, him dissing J. Cole too, that hyped up the beef. Like, fuck the big 3, it's just Big Me. And with him saying that, I really don't feel like that was disrespectful. I want to make a video on this. Right. If you think that's disrespectful, then you don't watch battle rap. You don't watch battle rap, and that's fine. Right, that's fine. But battle rap is a part of hip hop. Battle rap is a part of MCing. And battle rap definitely is a culture that people respect when it comes to two rappers battling. You do kind of have to look at it with the elements of battle rapping. And so I think Kendrick Lamar got that part down packed too. I think Kendrick also made it easier for people to digest what he was saying purposefully. And I think he kind of took that a little bit from Drake with the push-ups. And I do think Kendrick Lamar did take elements of Drake to diss him with his own shit. I think Drake did a good job with just following through. You know what I'm saying? Just following through with the plan up until the hard part 6. Up until the hard part 6, I don't really agree with that track at all. People say it's good rapping. I honestly don't think it's good rapping. It sounds lazy. It sounds like he sounds defeated. It doesn't sound attractive. Not like Us sound. It's an attractive track. Family Matters is an attractive track. Push-ups even minus the chip and nail shit, which is weird, but it's an attractive track. The beat's good. But that was the first time too that we seen. That was the first time too that we seen Drake kind of like test the waters out first, which was weird. That was the weird thing. Like if people remember, in the midst of this battle, he dropped like 3 different versions of push-ups. It was like a Get Money, the 50 Cent sample, and then he finally dropped the official version. And that was what was weird to me. You kind of watered down push-ups. You know, it was like you kind of leaked it on purpose, which was a weird move. I don't know if it had to be like he was testing the waters, right? It's kind of like him doing this plot twist shit. You know, because he dropped a new song called Doghouse with Yeet. And I think Kendrick Lamar mentioned Yeet too, either on Squabble Up, Not Like Us, or Euphoria, one of them songs. So Kendrick Lamar has been very, shout out to Read My Soul, very Negro Dominus like with this shit. I have to say, seems like he's been knowing damn near every move that he's either going to do or planned on doing in the first place. So we gotta account for that. We definitely gotta account for that. But let's not lose the plot. Let's not lose the fact that this is a historical battle, a historical moment for music, not just for hip hop, for music. You know what I'm saying? This will be used as a marker in history, regardless if people like it or not. This caused the residual of other battles as well to happen, which was one of the best things that I've seen. When it came to two people beefing, then you got other people that kind of want to join in and shit like that. It even went like we got some transatlantic beefs. This beef went across the waters to our foreign neighbors. You know, so that's definitely something that I'm appreciative of. Even though the Skepta Jordan Lucas beef was kind of mid-ball, it did pick up towards the end. So I appreciate that. I appreciate Joy Badass versus the West Coast and everybody who responded. Rayvon. You know, we had Quavo and Chris Brown beef for a second. You know, we had Mulatto and Ice Spice. You know, there was a lot. There was a lot. I think we even had Bia. I forgot who she did, but she did somebody. And we even had Bia, you know, say some things. So the female artist, Bia, Bia. So there was just a lot of residuals that happened because of the beef and how people see that they could make some profit off of it, but also like rank up. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers want to rank up. You know, it's not always about like people that want to clout. It's about like people want to rank up. People want to be considered more than what they are, which is why people come out with songs, with tracks, with things to say about someone else that they probably had a slight disagreement with. You know, I don't think that it's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? To try and chase a battle. I think it's a bad thing when you start to make that your only thing that you do. And so, you know, I don't want people to get lost in the fact that, like I said, you know, this beef is huge for music, not just for hip hop, for music. And so let's just not forget why this shit existed. You know what I'm saying? Why this was even a thing, why it was so big, why people took it seriously. Because this is a part of hip hop. This is a part of music. Competition is just a part of human nature. You know, I think people don't want to accept the fact that competition is just a part of human nature. You can't get over the fact that somebody wants to be better than you. That's it. Now, if they want it to be friendly, that's one thing. If they go and kind of be more, show a bit more hostility, that's another thing. You know, you're gonna have to deal with that how you deal with that. But if people want to be competitive in a friendly manner, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want us to lose that. I think we're starting to call people who want battles clout chasers and stuff, and that's not true. Now I get that if you just calling somebody out, keep calling them out, they ain't saying nothing back to you, that do look a little weird. You feel me? But even then, nigga, it's not against the law for somebody to try to call somebody out to see if they want to battle. That's not a bad thing. Again, someone is going to want to be better than you, especially if they hear. You know, I'm gonna tell you this: somebody, a female, a nigga, a female, is going to want to be better than you because they think you're good. It should be a compliment. See, that's the fucked up part. People don't take it as a compliment when someone wants to challenge you. That's a compliment. Whether you think it's underhand, whether you think it's a slide in between, it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? If someone wants to challenge you, they think you're good at something. Unless you're getting taught that and someone challenges you to teach you something, then that's a whole nother thing. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not competition. That's a classroom. That's being taught. You're digesting information. You got to get your ass beat. You should expect almost to get your ass beat unless you get lucky, right? I'm talking about two people that have been doing something for around the same amount of time, or it doesn't even have to be around the same amount of time, because you could be doing something for 10 years, somebody could be doing something for 3 years, and they can look better, blow past all your statistics, right? So if that person who's been doing it for 10 years wants to challenge that person who's been doing it for 3 that everybody's saying he's way better at, she's way better at, how is that a problem? Or if the person who's been doing it for 3 years that's being considered better wants to challenge the person that's been doing it for 10 years because they want some rank, how is that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing. We can't try to make competition and being competitive a bad thing. That's why America is looked at as soft, because we're not competitive just in nature. Like, you can tell movies ain't even being as competitive no more. Holy shit. Hold on, yeah, I'll be right back. Damn, I ain't even put a heavy load in that washing machine. That's the first time I did that. Anyway, we need to be more competitive. It's embedded in our brains to do so. Like when people give to charity, someone is going to give more than the next person because they just want to be a better charitable person, or they want their, you know, even when you do good actions, people want to be better at doing good actions than you do. Regardless if they think they do or don't. They do. They do. Right? I don't give a fuck how genuine you are. I want to be a better good person than the next. I want to be a better good person than the next. You know why? Because that'll cause that person to want to be a better good person. You know what happens? Everybody starts to want to be a better good person. So what the fuck is wrong with people wanting to be better at being a good person? That's not you. If you take it as people wanting to be egotistical, or people that are using good actions to manipulate, then that's on you. If you don't see it as elevation, a point of elevation, because we are a walking, living, breathing. We are walking, living, breathing technology. Me, you, everyone. We are technology. To advance the technology, you have to upgrade. To advance technology, you have to create new coding. You have to create new commands. You have to create ways to filter and fight viruses and outputs and all this shit, you know? So with that being said, if you don't want to advance your technology, then don't try to be better at something. Period. And that's fine. You don't have to be. That's fine. You don't have to be. So let's get it out of our heads that we want to try to make this thing something else when it's just supposed to be this. It's this. You can't continue to try and make somebody look like a clout chaser, or make somebody look like they're trying to get famous off the. Of course I am. Of course I'm trying to get famous off of it. If you go to a job and you see somebody slacking on their job, if you're a good person, what you're going to do is you're going to try to help them, right? And then you're going to want to do that job better, to be like, look, I can do it better because I'm actually trying to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can't continue to act like this is some foreign concept. This is stupid as fuck. This is not a foreign concept. This is something that happens in everyday life. Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac, Biggie, 50 Cent, Ja Rule. All right? Even Eminem, MGK, and now Kendrick, Lamar, and Drake. How can we sit here and say that competition isn't something that we want? Or it's clout chasing? That means that every NFL team that plays, that talks shit about the next NFL team that they want to play, is clout chasing. That means that when an NBA player says something about their team in their conference, and another team disagrees with it and says, we better than you at shooting threes, we better than you at stealing the ball, we better than you at rebound. So they clout chasing too? Get the fuck out of here, man. Hockey teams, lacrosse, soccer, golf. Competition is everywhere in front of you. It's everywhere in front of you. So just stop with the bullshit. Stop with the narrative of people want to clout chase and people just trying to revive their careers. And niggas gonna do what the fuck they want to do when they want to do this shit, dog. Period, point blank. So if you don't agree with competition, then you probably need to stay up out the kitchen because you ain't gonna cook shit no way, and it's gonna get pretty hot in there. You have to be mindful, whatever field you step in. If you want to be a teacher, it's gonna be a teacher that's gonna want to teach better than you. If you want to be a pastor, it's gonna be a pastor who's gonna want to preach better than you. If you want to be a skateboarder, somebody gonna want to hit tricks more than you. It's just, there's nothing, you cannot escape it. The reason why it's built in us is because we have to elevate and advance our technology because we are walking, living, breathing technology. Period. We can't continue to build this narrative of people had to revive their careers or people, even saying people's careers died afterwards. Like Ja Rule still performing. Ja Rule still performing. You know what I'm saying? MGK switched genres, but he still be rapping here and there. You know what I'm saying? But he did switch genres though. That nigga did. That was funny. But Drake, he's still rapping, even though I don't agree with the shit that he's doing. He's still doing his thing. So it's not. I don't have to say what the winners had. Eminem's still here. Kendrick's still here. 50 Cent obviously is taking over all type of shit, all type of lanes, different avenues of revenue. So, Jay-Z is still winning, right? Jay-Z is probably one of the richest, most famous MCs that we have. And he lost the battle. You see? So losses can turn to lessons and lessons can turn to blessings. So a loss can be a blessing. If it's not something that is detrimental to your image, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? You can do the shit. Now it's a unique situation with Kendrick and Drake because Drake is probably one of the biggest artists that we had in the last fucking 50 years. Like seriously. I didn't know how big it was until after this battle because that's when all this accolades started to pop back up again. I'm like, damn man, he actually did a lot within like 15 years. You know what I'm saying? So you can't fault him for that. People try to change history now. When people say numbers don't lie, numbers can lie nowadays. Feelings don't lie. My emotion about how I feel about the song don't lie. That's the best we can do. You can't mass produce feelings. You could try and manipulate the feelings that we have, but you can't mass produce a feeling for me. You can't do that. They've gotten really good at fucking with your neurological activity through imagery and color and all that and frequencies and shit. I will say that. But the only reason why they're doing that is because they cannot manufacture it. So they have to make you feel like your feelings are manufactured. They have to make you feel like your feelings are manufactured. They have to make you feel like that you're not in control of your feelings. They have to make you feel like that everything around you is against you and you need to bow down and submit and all this. And that's a whole nother conversation. What I'm saying is you cannot manufacture human feelings in a factory. There is not a formula for that because there is way too many variables that go into how I feel about something. I might watch a horror movie and it might be comedial to me at the time because of how I feel about horror and how I know it's a movie. Other times I might watch that same horror movie, and it might be gore, but it might be a psychological thriller. Other times I might actually be a little afraid. I might actually be a little scared. See, me personally, I don't watch the demon possession. I used to. Don't get me wrong. I don't watch like the demon possession and all that. 13 Ghosts is one of my favorite movies. 13 Ghosts is one of my favorite movies. That's the only one that I watch that I think is like deal with possession, shit like that. 13 Ghosts. There's another movie. It's a psychological. I like psychological thrillers though. If it's a horror movie that I like, it's psychological thrillers. Like Saw was one of my favorite series ever. All of them. I'm a fan of all of them. Everybody like, after Saw 3 it fell off. I don't give a fuck. They got me as a fan. Like, I wish I was an extra in that shit. Passing by the gas station or something. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I wish I was an extra in that at that time to participate in that movie, because I really, really fuck with that movie. That was a psychological thriller though. And it played into what could really, like, somebody could really come kidnap you and really put you in the room, and you really had to figure that shit out. That's a real thing. That was very real. So psychological thrillers is something that does get to me a little bit. I just watched one the other day, and it was this guy and his father gave him a beach house, and I guess he had bipolar, schizophrenic disorder, some of the sort like that, and he ended up killing his girlfriend. And I think that was happening with all of them. You know what I mean? Like with his dad's, then his dad's dad, then his dad's dad. You know, they all did like very similar acts by killing somebody at the beach house. So, you know, for me, that hits home more because that's showing you trauma. That's showing you your psyche does come from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't just come from anywhere. Basically what I'm saying is you can't manufacture feelings. You can't manufacture somebody feeling a way about something. You can't do that. You can try to force the issue. You can try to make us look at it 100,000 times. You could program somebody into thinking that, but eventually feelings are going to supersede what the program is. You know what I mean? Feelings are going to supersede the program. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe once you program, that's it. But every time I have a feeling about something, it supersedes my impulse. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I can't continue to feel the same that everybody else is feeling. At first, I was with the Drake hate bandwagon, right? And I'm not with the hate bandwagon anymore. I'm with more so the, let's look at this from a different perspective bandwagon type of deal. You know, if any bandwagon at all. Because my thing is, Drake is still successful, right? Might not like how success looks for him, might not want him to be as successful, but he's still doing this thing. Kendrick, don't even gotta say nothing about him. He's breaking records every time he steps out the fucking door, right? So congratulations on that. What I will say is, though, we have to know that competitiveness is embedded in culture everywhere. Not just us. This is everywhere. In fucking nature, you see two rams going at it because they trying to find they mate to fuck, and they territorial. You see ant colonies eat each other. You see, you know, monkeys that fight for land. Wild dogs, wolves. I mean, fish, sharks. I mean, everybody has a certain type of competitive nature in them. That's why it's called competitive nature. It's just naturally inside of us. You can't escape that shit. Whether you want to be better at doing good or you want to be better at doing bad, it doesn't fucking matter. You want to be the best criminal you can be? Well, go see who's already doing the shit that you're doing and then try to do it better. Right? There is no way to escape this shit. So for everyone who has this narrative of we're stretching it out, oh man, we're continuing to beat a dead horse. Oh man, we already know Drake lost. Why y'all continue to try to bring this shit up? It's because it's competitiveness. And it just so happened that their competitive nature was put on a big stage. You can't fault anybody for continuing to have a fucking opinion about people who put their competition on the main stage. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing for real? If we lose this, then we're going to lose something very dear to what is embedded in us. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I don't want this to be too long. I gotta dip out. Peace. Till next time. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this or not, but if I do, I might go private, bring it back up. However, thank y'all, everybody who tuned in, to the 16 people tuned in, the 4 people, the 7 people, the 1 person, whatever the fuck. Appreciate y'all, man. Till next time, right? Peace.